Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
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 सियावर रामचंद्र की, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की. ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः. ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः. ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. ओम श्री जानकी वल्लभो विजयते. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरं. समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं. नमः श्री तुलसीदास सद्वरिष्ठाय धीमते. पूरितं हृदयं येन रामप्रेमामृतेन मे. नीलाम्बुजश्यामलकोमलाङ्गं सीतासमारोपितवामभागं. पाणौ महासायकचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्. अतुलितबलधामं हेमशैलाभदेहं दनुजवनकृशानुं ज्ञानिनामग्रगण्यं. सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणामधीशं रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि. We have seen in the last session how Parvati ji's austerity tapas bore fruit and she got to marry Shivji, and we saw the unbelievable marriage, one of its kind, never before, never after. Isn't it? How Shiva Parvati, they both of them got married. Actually, this whole story started from where? Bharadwaja Muni asked Yajnavalkya Rishi some questions about Shrirama. And Yajnavalkya Rishi, while answering, said that the similar question was asked by Sati Parvati. So that is how we have come to this story. Now there are many people who say, Viji, Ramayana, when Ramayana is starting? Why Shivji? So there is a reason that Tulsidas Ji gives here. He says that this katha of Shiva Parvati is told before to check the eligibility of the listener or the reader. He says only a person who will love this story is eligible to enter into Ramayana. He says, प्रथमई में कही शिवचरित बुझा मरमु तुम्हार सुचि सेवक तुम राम के रहित समस्त विकार. If you can enjoy Shivji's katha, then you are eligible to read and go through Ramayana, through katha of Bhagavan Sri Rama. And therefore, First, this story is told. He also says, this is doha number 104. Just before that, he also says, Shiva samako Raghupati Bratadhari, Binu Agataji, Sati Asinari, Panukari Raghupati Bhagati Dekhai, Ko Shiva Sama Rama hi Priya Bhai. He says, there is no greater Rama Bhakta than Shivji. And there, he left his wife for his love for Shrirama, isn't it? And he says, if you do not love, if you do not enjoy this story, you will not be able to go to the next one. And therefore, first you must love Shivji. First you must listen to Shivji's katha and then only enter into Rama katha. Okay, that's why this katha is told. So from Karma Ghata, where Yajnavalkya Rishi and Bharadwaja Muni's Samvada is happening, he told this entire story. Now we go to Jnana Ghata, where Shiva Parvati Samvada is happening. Okay, and we saw that after marriage, when they both are in Kailas, now Parvati ji approaches Bhagavan again. And what is that? Bhagavan is in his own Shantarasa, not excited because of marriage, etc. Nothing. He is still calm. And when Parvati approaches, what does he do? He asks her to sit on his left side. See, the circle is complete. Earlier, when Satiji doubted Shrirama and tested him, Bhagavan Shivji asked Sati to sit in front. Remember? Now, after Sati has given up her body, done the sacrifice and done the entire tapas as Parvati, now she has become eligible, and therefore Shivji gives left side. See 106.2. Jani Priya Adaru Atikina Bama Bhaga Asanu Haradina. Hara, Bhagavan Shivji gave Bama Bhaga, gave his left side to her. So you can say Asana, made her sit on the left side, but also you can say that half side is given, Ardhangini. That is what Bhagavan Shivji did. Then what? Then Parvati ji says, Bhagavan, I am very happy that you gave me this honor, but I want to ask you something. Bhagavan says, what do you want to ask? She says, you say that Shrirama is Parabrahma and you worship him, he is your Ishta Devata. But then how come that Parabrahma was crying in the forest? Now Shivji, now before Shivji could think, she says, don't think that I am asking the same question. She says, as Sati, I had doubt on Bhagavan. And therefore I was asking, how can Parabrahma be this? This cannot be Parabrahma. She says, now I have faith, but I want to know how. So the question is same, but the tone is different. See, when you ask the question, how can it be? How can it be means what? You believe that it cannot be. And therefore you are asking. No, you are asking, how can it be? There is a difference between two. She says, now I am asking the second way. I believe he is Parabrahma, but I want to know how Parabrahma has become this Shrirama. So now the question is deeper. The question is philosophical. Question she is asking is, how can Nirguna become Saguna? Not that I don't believe it has become. No, I have faith. I believe it has become, but I want to know how. How Nirguna has become Saguna. And also why? What is the purpose behind this Saguna avatar? Why Shrirama is born? Nirguna, how it became Saguna, one question. Another question is, what is the purpose? That's the second question. What is the purpose of his avatar? Third question she asks is, what did he do in this Rama avatar? What are the leelas that he has done? Question number 3. And question number 4, what are the secrets behind his Rama Leela? As Shrirama, whatever leelas he has done, what are the secrets behind it? So 4 questions she is asking. Number 1, how Nirguna has become Saguna? How? Not how can it become. No, how Nirguna has become Saguna. Number 2, what is the purpose for which he has taken this particular form, Rama Avatar? What is the prayojana? Number 3, as Shrirama, what are all the actions he has done? What are the leelas that he has performed? And number 4, what is the rahasya? What are the secrets behind those leelas? Okay. Now, when Shivji listened to all these questions, he understood that now Parvati is ready for receiving knowledge because she has faith now. See, earlier he understood that there is no point in telling the story again. Remember, similar question was asked by Sati. But he said, just now we have heard, and if you do not have faith, you don't even, deserve to be told the same story again. Therefore, he said, you go and find out for yourself. But now that Shivji understands that Parvati ji is genuinely asking, with faith she is asking, then Shivji says, okay, I will give you that katha, I will give you the knowledge. And this is where that Ramacharitamanas, that Ramacharitra which was kept in Bhagavan Shivji's heart, comes out. Okay, so you can imagine from now whatever is there is everything that has come out from Shivji. Okay. Another thing that we will see in this is we keep on shifting between the ghats, correct? Somewhere Yajnavalkya Rishi is telling to Bharadwaja Muni, now Shivji is going to tell to Parvati. Nay, he himself will take you to Kakabhushundi telling to Garuda. And of course, throughout Tulsidas Ji is there. So the same story is going on in all 4 places. Okay. We should not get worried and should find, we do not ask, where is this happening? This is happening everywhere, in all 4. Okay. Sometimes he will mention specifically that this is what I am telling. Sometimes he may not, but katha is happening everywhere. Okay. And now Shivji tells the entire Rama katha to her, starting from the concept how Nirguna has become Saguna. So this particular portion is called Shiva Geeta, which will now start from Doha number 111 to 120. This 10 Dohas is called as Shiva Geeta. This is what do you mean Shiva Geeta? The philosophical explanation of how Nirguna has become Saguna. The first question, answer to the first question. Alright. And also please remember what kind of ghat we are in. See, Jnana Ghat, when you say Shivji is telling to Parvati, it is Jnana Ghat. The discussion is going to be on philosophy. Isn't it? In Karma Ghat, it was lot of stories. Now, it has gone back to philosophy, Jnana Ghat. Okay. And that's why we have this very beautiful portion of Shiva Geeta, entire Vedanta only. Nothing other than that. But it has got its own charm. And Tulsidas Ji says in Doha number 111, Magana Dhyana Rasa Danda Juga Punimana Bahera Keena Raghupati Charita Mahesa Taba Harshita Baranailina. He says, when Parvati Ji asked this question, just by listening to word Ram, Shivji went into meditation. But understanding that now there is a task at hand that I have to be a teacher and teach, he pulled his mind away from that state of meditation and started to tell. See, Magana Dhyana Rasa, Punimana Bahera Keena, he brought it out. He brought mind out of meditation, Raghupati Charita Mahesa Taba, and then he gave this Raghupati Charitra, this story of Shrirama to Parvati. Let us sing a portion from after 111. झूठेउ सत्य जाहि बिनु जाने,
झूठेउ सत्य जाहि बिनु जाने,
जिमि भुजंग बिनु रजु पहिचाने,
जिमि भुजंग बिनु रजु पहिचाने,
जेहि जाने जग जाई हेराई,
जेहि जाने जग जाई हेराई,
जा जागे जथा सपन भ्रम जाई,
जागे जथा सपन भ्रम जाई।
बंदऊ बाल रूप सोई रामू,
बंदउ बाल रूप सोई रामू।
सब सिद्धि सुलभ जपत जिसु नामू,
सब सिद्धि सुलभ जपत जिसु नामू।
मंगल भवन अमंगल हारी,
मंगल भवन अमंगल हारी।
द्रवऊ सो दशरथ अजिर बिहारी,
द्रवौ सो दशरथ जिर बिहारी।
करि प्रणाम राम ही त्रिपुरारी,
करि प्रणाम राम हि त्रिपुरारी।
हर्षि सुधा समगिरा उचारी,
हर्षि सुधा समगिरा उचारी।
धन्य धन्य गिरिराज कुमारी,
धन्य धन्य गिरिराज कुमारी।
तुम समान नहीं कोपकारी,
तुम समान नहीं को उपकारी।
पूछे हु रघुपति कथा प्रसंगा,
पूछे हु रघुपति कथा प्रसंगा।
सकल लोक जग पावनी गंगा,
सकल लोक जग पावनी गंगा।
तुम रघुबीर चरण अनुरागी,
तुम रघुबीर चरण अनुरागी।
कीन्हु प्रश्न जगत हित लागी,
कीन्हु प्रश्न जगत हित लागी।
राम कृपा ते पार्वती,
राम कृपा ते पार्वती।
सपने हु तव मन माही,
सपने हु तव मन माही।
शोक मोह संदेह भ्रम,
शोक मोह संदेह भ्रम।
मम विचार कछु नाही,
मम विचार
कछु नाही। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की। हाँ, झूठे हु सत्य जाहि बिनु जाने, जिमि भुजंग बिनु रजु पहचाने. Bhujanga Raju has come again. What is he telling? You ask this question, Shrirama is Parabrahma and then Nirguna is becoming Saguna. Let me tell you, the Shrirama is Sakshat Parabrahma, there is no doubt about it. Again he brings the same concept with which he did the Mangalacharana and prostrated to Bhagavan. Remember? What was that? Wait, something was there now, why you want to test? It's there in the book. I am not asking you to bring it out from your memory. Yan maya vashavarti vishwam akhilam brahmadi deva suraha. That's not the line. Second line. Yat sattvat amrushaiva bhati sakalam rajau yatha her brahmaha. Yat padaplavam ekamevahi bhavam bodehe titirshavatam vandeham tam ashesha karana param Ramakhyamisham Harim. I salute that Shrirama who yat sattvat, by whose existence Amrusha eva bhati sakalam. Whole the world which is Amrusha, which is actually Mrisha, which is not real, appears to be Amrusha, appears to be real. Because of whose existence? That is Sakshat Parabrahma, that is Shrirama. Here also he says the same. Jhootehu satya jahi binu jane. Because of whom jhoot means asatya. What is not there appears to be there. Jimi bhujanga binu raju pahichane. Like the snake which is not there appears because of what? Because of rajju. He says, Jehi jane jaga jai hirai jage jatha sapana brahma jai. That is Bhagavan, knowing whom everything vanishes as though it was a dream. Two main examples of Vedanta in one line. Rope and snake and dream. He says, the world appears to be real, though it is not, because of the real existence of Brahman. And if you realize that real existence of Brahman, the world will disappear as though a dream. See, in one line he has told the essence. What is Nirguna? Then he says that same Brahman, who is that? That is Parabrahma, that same Mangala Bhavana Amangala Hari Drava Uso Dasharatha Jarabihari. Very famous line. Mangala Bhavana Amangala Hari Drava Uso Dasharatha Ajara Bihari. He is Sakshat Mangala Bhavana. He is the house of all auspiciousness. Amangala Hari, one who destroys all the inauspiciousness. That same Parabrahma, Drava Uso Dasharatha Ajara Bihari. He has taken birth and he is playing in Dasharatha's house. Don't have this kind of confusion as to how it can happen. I will explain how, but understand that same Nirguna Brahman, without whose existence the world cannot even appear, and knowing whom world will disappear, that same Parabrahma has taken birth in the house of Dasharatha. So Bhagavan Sri Rama is Ishwara, Mangala Bhavana Mangala Hari, and he himself has become, Sri Rama is Ishwara and he is actually Brahman. So you understand Nirguna Nirakara, Nirguna Saguna Nirakara also, and Sakara Rupa also he has taken in Dasharatha's house. That is what that Brahman is, and that is how it has become. Now what? He actually congratulates Parvati Ji, saying that you have asked very good question, right question you have asked with the right attitude and with the desire to listen to Ramakatha. And because of this, your questions will be known as the most important questions which will benefit the entire world. Why? You are not just asking for yourself. Now you see, Parvati Ji becomes nimitta for that Ramacharitra which is in Bhagavan's heart to come out. Just as Arjuna was nimitta for Bhagavad Gita to come out. Without him we would not have got it. It's there in him, but when will it come? When the right person is asking the right question with right attitude, then that knowledge will come. And therefore he says, congratulations. He goes on explaining what beautiful thing. He says, Shivji says, ears that have not heard Bhagavad Katha are like holes where snakes stay. They are just like holes where snakes will stay. Means what? There is no use of those ears if you do not listen to Bhagavad Katha. Eyes that have not seen Sajjanas and have not asked them for this Ramakatha or Bhagavad Katha are like the design on the peacock feather. If you have seen peacock feather, that also looks like an eye. Isn't it? He says the eyes that have not seen the saints and have not asked are like that design. The two designs are put there. No use of those eyes. Tongue that has not sung Bhagavan's stories, Bhagavan's gunas, is like the tongue of the frog, which is good for nothing, just makes noise. Okay. I am not saying, Shivji is saying all these things, okay? And he says, heart that does not delight listening to Bhagavad Katha is like Vajra, like a thunderbolt, stone heart. And finally he says, a person who doesn't have love for Bhagavan is a dead man whose body is living. Person is dead, inside the person is not there. If he has no love for Bhagavan, what is the point? Just body is alive. Therefore, it is this story of Bhagavan, it is this topic of Bhagavan which makes you useful, which makes you fulfilled. And therefore, Parvati, you have asked the right question. That's what he says, very beautiful. He goes on explaining, certain aspects and glorifies Ramakatha also. He says, Ramakatha is like Kamadhenu, Rama Katha is like Kalpa Vriksha. These all now wish fulfilling cow, wish fulfilling tree, wish fulfilling gem. All these stories, all these similes you are going to be hearing lot of times. He says, very interesting, just as birds fly away when you clap. Hey, when you do like this, the birds will fly away, no? He says like that, Rama Katha is like that clap, which will make sure that all sins fly away. That is what Rama Katha does. Okay. And he says, I will narrate Rama Katha to you, and I have already congratulated you on your questions, saying that your questions are good. But I did not like one thing. What is that? When you said that Shrirama is different from Paramatma, when you are asking the question, it looks like there is some Paramatma and there is some Shrirama, and therefore you are asking two different questions: how Nirguna has become Saguna, and what was the purpose, and what did he do? He says, I didn't like that part. Why? Because you should never even think that Shrirama is different from Paramatma. See how much clarity Shivji, is exhibiting here, saying that there should be not even a trace of doubt. Says, whoever think, whichever people are there who think that Paramatma is different, Bhagavan Sri Rama is different, says they are like, they are captured by ghosts. And what ghosts? Ghosts of delusion, and therefore those people will go against Vedas, and they will have never any love, any devotion for Bhagavan. They are the worst kind of beings. Ek baat nahi mohi sohani, jadapi moha basa kaheu bhavani. तुम जो कहा राम को आना, जेहि श्रुति गाव धरहि मुनि ध्याना. कहि सुनिहि अस अधम नर, ग्रसे जे मोह पिसाच. पाषंडी हरि पद विमुख, जानहि झूठ न साच. He says, I liked all other things, but one thing I did not like, and please be careful that in your mind also this idea, this thought should never come that Bhagavan Sri Rama is different from Paramatma. Why? Because people who think like this are the worst kind of people. They are captured by ghost of Moha, Maya, etc. Moha Pisach. And therefore, don't even think. Now, let me explain how Nirguna has become Saguna. How? Okay, how is the question that is answered. He says that Nirguna, which is Parabrahma Paramatma, has taken Rupa, has taken a form out of his love for the devotees. Okay, that is what has caused that Nirguna to take form. You see here, he says, where it is. Sagunahi agunahi nahi kachu bheda, gavahi muni purana buddha veda, aguna arupa alakha ajajoi, bhagata prema basa saguna sohoi. Bhagata prema. Out of love for the devotees, that Nirguna has become Saguna. But there is no difference. There is no difference between Nirguna and Saguna. And if at all you want to call it as a difference, let me tell you what kind of difference it can be. He says it is like a difference between ice, water and vapor. All three by nature are H2O, but they appear in different forms. Solid, liquid and gaseous, vapor, isn't it? So vapor you will not be able to see. When the temperature drops down, then it will form some kind of droplets. And if it is still chilly, it may become ice. Now, have you created ice? No. That same water is converted into ice. From where did you get water? That vapor only has become water because of the temperature difference. The nature has not changed. He says in the same way, don't think that Nirguna, when Nirguna becomes Saguna, they change the nature, they have come down. No. They have not come down or anything. They remain H2O. The form is different. But then why? He says, I told you, no, it's out of love that they have taken this Saguna Rupa. That Nirguna has taken this Saguna Rupa. Okay. So, don't think that Bhagavan Sri Rama, when he is crying that his wife is kidnapped, don't think he is crying out of sadness. It is an act. It is a drama. You see, we also, when we go to see movie or when we go to see play, etc., we know that the person who is acting is not actually like that. In India, to that we have to tell. Many people really believe that villains are very bad in real life. There is a famous story of the person who had acted as Shrirama, that Arun Govil, who had acted as Ramanand Sagar's, in that Ramayana. Pavam, he was actor. He did that role. Now after the serial was over and it was telecasted, he acted in other movie. Okay? People threw stones at that screen. They could not take that actor playing any other role. His career got over. In his life, he could not take another role. I am not saying bad thing happened. It is good only. The only role that people know you for is Bhagavan Sri Rama's. What else better can happen about you? But you see, many people, they really think that the person who is acting and the person in real life are same. They are same, but the acting is not real. They may act as the very wicked person, but in real life they may be very simple and very pavam people. They may act as the beggar, but they must be wealthy outside. So, just because Sri Rama is playing that role, don't think that he is actually crying or he is actually in sorrow and he has come down from that state of bliss. No, nothing like that has happened. He remains what he is. But he has taken a role and he is playing that. That is what happens. Actually, Shivji says, this Jiva and Ishwara, we must understand the difference. Many times what happens is not realizing that Sri Rama is Ishwara, not Jiva. Not realizing that, we start to attribute certain qualities of us on him. He says here, Harasha Bishada Jnana Ajnana Jiva Dharma Ahamiti Abhimana. This Harasha Bishada, joy and sorrow, Jnana Ajnana, knowledge and ignorance, Jiva Dharma, these are the qualities of Jiva. Ahamiti Abhimana, who has the ego, who has the ahankara that I am this. Rama Brahma Vyapaka Jagajana Paramananda Paresa Purana. But Bhagavan Sri Rama is not that Jiva, is not any Jiva. Brahma Vyapaka, it is all pervasive Brahman. Jagajana, Jagajana has two meanings. Jagajana means everybody knows, or Jagajana, one who knows everything. Paramananda Paresa, he is Paramananda, he is the supreme bliss. Para Isha, he is the Sakshat Ishwara Purana, and he is eternal. He is Purana, ancient. So, never we should think, looking at Sri Rama, that he is Jiva. No, he is still Ishwara. What a beautiful thing he says here. He says, because of the delusion of the Jiva, Jiva starts to think that Ishwara is Jiva. Okay? Tattvabodha. What Tattvabodha? Jiva Ishwara Veda Buddhi. How it comes? Because of the ignorance of Jiva. Ishwarat bhinnatvena janati. Jiva considers that he is different from Ishwara. And the moment I am different from Ishwara, when I look at Ishwara and I believe or I see Ishwara doing things like me, I feel that this is also another Jiva. When Ishwara is in Ishwara Rupa, I may not feel that. But when the same Ishwara I see in human form, performing actions as avatara, I start to feel that he is also another human being like me. Jiva, because of delusion, starts to think that Ishwara is also Jiva. And he says, Uma, Parvati, you have also done that mistake. Because of your delusion, you thought that he is deluded. He can never be deluded. You went to test whether he is deluded or not, and he showed you he is not deluded. Ishwara can never be deluded because of the delusion of the Jiva. Jiva thinks that Ishwara is deluded. That is the point that he mentions. And therefore, all these qualities which belong to the Jiva should not be attributed to Ishwara. See now, this concept is going to help us forward also if we remember. Number one, what he has said is, Nirguna appearing as Saguna is not changing its nature. Nature has remained same. Only form has changed because of his love for devotees. It's like ice, water and vapor. Nature H2O has remained H2O. Okay, this is point number one. Point number two that he is telling is that just because he is appearing as Jiva, don't think he is Jiva. He is Ishwara only. It's because of our delusion, the Jiva's delusion, that Jiva thinks that Ishwara is deluded. And therefore Ishwara has become Jiva. That does not happen. The distinction is very clear. Jiva has Harsha, Vishada, Jnana, Ajnana, Jnana, Ajnana, Smarana, Vismarana, Harsha, Shoka. All these, Ahankara, all these are qualities of Jiva. What is Ishwara? Rama, Brahma, Vyapaka. He is that all-pervasive Brahman. It has never become a Jiva. As I said earlier also, it is just that Bhagavan has acted so well that we have blurred the line and we think that this is it. He has acted so well, and that's why he becomes happy. When Satiji comes, he thinks, well done. It was so realistic acting that Satiji really thought that he is another Jiva. And then if he is Jiva, why is Shivji prostrating? That's the whole thing that started. And therefore he says here that this point we must understand. Which means what? The moment you ask the question, see the next question after some time is going to be why he took Rama avatar. Okay. Now the answer cannot be how the answer of Jiva will be. How Jiva has taken, why Jiva has taken birth? Because of karma. Whatever prarabdha is there, whatever they have done in the past. So all the things we will see as purpose of Shrirama's avatar will not be because Shrirama had to be born. Though the story will look like it, but that is not what is happening. Shrirama came because he wanted to come. Full stop. He is not bound by any rule like Jiva. That Jiva has to be born because of prarabdha. It is not that Shrirama has to be born. In Bhagavad also we will see, Vedvyaji says there that Bhagavan's, like Jiva's body is made up of Pancha Mahabhuta and devised by Prarabdha Karma, isn't it? We saw it in Tattvabodha also. Where? Stula Shariram Kim Panchikrita Pancha Mahabhute Kritam Sat Karmajanyam. It is Karmajanya and it is created from Pancha Mahabhutas. He says, Ishwara, when takes avatara, his body is not made up of Panchamahabhuta. His body is made up of consciousness. Consciousness has taken Murta Rupa. And not because of any prarabdha, out of his own wish. Yadrichha. Out of his own wish, consciousness has taken form. Not that he has taken. So even his body is not made up of Panchamahabhuta. He can easily say no, that I can cast whatever kind of body I want and make it out of Pancha. He says even his body is not made up of Panchamahabhuta. That much difference is there between Jiva and Ishwara taking avatar. That's what he says here. Jagat prakasya prakashaka ramu maya dhisha jnana gunadhamu jasu satyata te jada maya Bhasa Satya Iva Moha Sahaya. He says, Jagata Prakasya Prakashakaramu. The entire world is Prakashya, illumined. But the illuminator is Shrirama. We say no, all objects are known by senses, senses are known by mind. Mind is illumined by what? That Chaitanya Swarup, Chaitanya Sakshi Chaitanya, that is Paramatma. That is what Bhagavan is. He is Sakshat that Chaitanya. Now what? He says, Kripa asa brahma mit jai, girija soi kripala raghurai, adi anta ko jasu na pava, mati anumani nigama asagawa. Jasu kripa asa brahma mit jai. By whose grace our delusion will be removed and we will realize that there is no difference between Atma Rama and Raja Rama. By only his grace we can have removal of our delusion. Okay, therefore we must salute, we must surrender to that Bhagavan. What is that Bhagavan? He gives further explanation. Binu pada chalai, sunai binu kana, kara binu karama karai bidhinana, anana rahita sakala rasa bhogi, binu bani bakata bada jogi. What a beautiful explanation of Brahman. Binu pada chalai, he walks without legs. Sunai binu kana, listens without ears. Kara binu karama karai bidhinana, and performs different kinds of actions without hands. Anana rahita sakala rasa bhogi, doesn't have face, doesn't have mouth, but enjoys all tastes. Binu bani bakata bada jogi, and without speech he is talking. That is what Bhagavan is. We didn't understand anything. That is the main point, that it cannot be understood. It is beyond the senses, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect. It is Parabrahma. How can you understand it? No, but we understood the concept. Correct. Concept you should understand, not Brahman. Brahman cannot be understood. Concept you understand, that Brahman has become like this. It does everything, but doesn't do anything. That's what Bhagavan Sri Krishna will say in Geeta also. That while doing, please understand that I am not doing anything. It may appear as though I am doing everything, but I am not doing anything. Karmani akarmayah pashyet. Akarmani cha karmayah. Sabuddhiman manusheshu. There is one who can see inaction in action and action in inaction. That is an intelligent, wise person. Sayukta. He is united, Krishna Karmakrita, and fulfilled. No other action is required for him. That's what Bhagavan will say. Same concept is explained here. So, now Parvati ji says, you have answered my first question. How Nirguna has become Saguna, I have understood that it is not, the nature has not changed. He has just taken form out of his love for devotees, and that taking form is not like Jiva taking birth. I have understood. Pratama jo main pucha so kahau, जो मो पर प्रसन्न प्रभु अहु, राम ब्रह्म चिन्मय अविनाशी, सर्व रहित सब पुरवासी. Now that you have answered my first question, now if you are happy with me, please answer my next questions also. What was the next question? For what purpose that Nirguna has taken form? First question was how Nirguna has become Saguna. Okay, fine. Now, what is the purpose for which Nirguna has taken that Saguna form as Shrirama? What is the purpose of avatar? Okay, that he starts to tell, and Shivji says that now let us go to Upasana Ghat or Bhakti Ghat, where Kakabhushundi ji is telling the story to Garuda, where he gives the Janma Hetu, purpose of Janma, purpose of incarnation, Shrirama Janma Hetu. So, we see from Doha number 121 to 124, that is the introduction, and some more stories are going to follow. But this is where he introduces why Avatara Prayojana. What is the purpose for which Bhagavan has to take this form? Okay. But before he tells, he says, please understand, Hari Guna Nama, Doha number 120, Hari Guna Nama Apara Katha, Rupa Aganita Amita, मैं निज मति अनुसार कहूँ उमा सादर सुनहु. Sortha, this is right. Hariguna Nama Apara. Bhagavan's name and Bhagavan's qualities are apara, have no limit. Katha Rupa Aganita Amita, and even his stories cannot be counted. मैं निज मति अनुसार कहूँ. I am going to tell according to my mati, Uma sadar sunuho. Oh Uma, Parvati, please listen. What? Sunu girija hari charita suhaye, bipula bisada nigama gaye, hari avatar hetu jehi hoi, idamitham kahi jai na soi. Idamitham, he uses Sanskrit. He says idamitham, this is what it is. Nobody can say like this about avatar. Why Bhagavan Sri Rama, came as Sri Rama? Tell me, you cannot say this is the reason why he did. There are many people who will have many thoughts about it. Okay? But nobody can say that this is the purpose of avatar. Earlier also, when we were seeing the concept of avatar, we understood that there are different purposes for which Bhagavan takes avatar. You remember? To meet bhaktas and to, khalad shikshanaya, sajjana rakshanaya, etc., etc. We saw all the different. He wants to be with all devotees and all different reasons we saw. Sometimes to teach also, Jnana Avatara, etc. But we can keep on counting those prayojanas, purposes, and still it won't be sufficient. See, the point here is, I always say that this question why is not a very good question. Because why cannot be answered. How is a good question. What? Okay. But why? How can you tell why completely? There is no end to why. Generally we ask this question, no? Why? Why God created world? We can never understand the complete purpose for which creation has happened. We cannot understand. If we believe creation to be true, we cannot understand it completely. Why Bhagavan took avatar? Only Bhagavan can tell. But even he does not tell it completely. He tells few things and says, etc. We see in Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling the purpose of avatar, but that is a general description and general purpose of any avatar. But why particularly as Dasharatha and Kausalya's son Shrirama? Why? You can't say that, okay, I will give you explanation and that's it. That's the final explanation. No, you can give explanation, but that cannot be the final explanation. So, nobody can definitely say that this is the purpose. There are many things that can be said about it. That this is one of the reason, this is another reason, this is another reason, this is another reason. You can give 10 reasons. And still there will be another 10 which you have not told. Okay? But nobody can completely tell this is the purpose. Various things are at play. Various things have to happen. We will see in entire Ramakatha, every single moment of Sri Rama's life is he is completing some prayojana or the other. Every single person that he is meeting is completing one prayojana. So you can't really tell what all things, why did he take avatar as Sri Rama. But we can see few reasons why he might have taken. He says Sri Rama is atarkya, unthinkable, is beyond speech, mind and intellect. Isn't it? It is Brahman. Who can completely understand the purpose of his incarnation? But few reasons are given in scriptures which I will tell you. What is that? First he says, Jab jab hoi dharma ke hani, badhahi asura adhama abhimani, karahi aniti jai nahi barani, sidahi bipradhenu suradharani, tab prabhu dhari bibidha sarira, harahi kripaniti sajjana pira. This is as though translation of Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Jab jab hoi dharma ke hani, whenever dharma suffers. Badhahi asura adhama abhimani, and all the wicked people and demons etc. they rise or their power increases. Karahi aniti jai nahi barani, and all people are following unrighteousness. Sidahi bipradhenu suradharani, and good people, noble people are suffering. Taba prabhu dhari bibida sarira. That time Bhagavan takes different forms. Harahi kripanidhi sajjana pira. And by doing this, he removes all the sufferings of people. But as I told you, this is a general prayojana of any avatar. Now, we come to the particular avatar of Shrirama. And few stories he starts to tell. Okay. First story is very famous and he has given in a very short. That is the story of Jaya Vijaya. Longer version of the story we will see in Bhagavad. Okay. But we know the shorter version. Jaya Vijaya were the guards of Vaikuntha, are the guards of Vaikuntha, where Bhagavan Vishnu stays. And one day Sanat Kumaras, the 4 Manasaputras of Brahmaji, they came there. They look like 5-year-old children. And they said, we want to meet Bhagavan. They said, no, you can't go. Bhagavan is not free to meet all the people. Then they said, who are you to stop? This is between us and Bhagavan. Who are you to stop? So, because they got arrogance, no, of their position, that they could decide who should meet Bhagavan and who should not. So then the Sanat Kumaras cursed that you are at such a good place, you are guards of Vaikuntha and your mind is still hovering around this power, so you will be born 3 times on earth as Rakshasas. And when they gave this curse, Bhagavan came running. What happened? What happened? What happened? He said, nothing, nothing, this was normal, we will meet you. He says, no, no, whenever a servant makes a mistake, the mistake is of the master. Why? Because master decided to keep him as servant, no? So his mistake is my mistake. So their mistake is my mistake. My soldiers, my guards have done something, that's my mistake. Therefore, Bhagavan says that if my guards, Jaya Vijaya, have to be born 3 times, I will take birth 4 times to bring them back. This bigger mistake lies with me. And therefore, these Jaya Vijaya are first born as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And to kill Hiranyaksha, Bhagavan took avatar as Varaha and Hiranyakashipu was killed by Narasimha. So 2 avatars Bhagavan took. Then the same Jaya Vijaya were reborn as Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And for them, Bhagavan took avatar as Shrirama. And then the Jaya Vijaya were again born as Shishupala and Dantavaktra. And for them, Bhagavan took another avatar as Shri Krishna. So one of the purposes of Shrirama avatar is to bring back his guards. Ravana and Kumbhakarna were actually Jaya Vijaya, to bring them back, to free them from that curse. Okay, that is one story that is told. Second story, he says, is of Kashyapa Prajapati and Aditi. Again, longer version we will see in Bhagavad. Okay, Kashyapa Prajapati is the putra of Brahmaji and he is one of the main Prajapatis and he has got many wives, Diti, Aditi, etc. And Aditi and Kashyapa Prajapati, they have children what are called as Adityas, Dwadasha Adityas. They did tapas once and they requested Bhagavan that we want to enjoy your complete life as our son. Actually, already Bhagavan is born to Kashyapa Prajapati and Aditi, okay, as Vamana. Vamana is Aditi's son only, but not complete life, not Purna Avatara, not lived like that. We want to enjoy you fully as our son. So you please come. And therefore they say that this Kashyapa Prajapati and Aditi, they both are born as Dasharatha and Kausalya. And Bhagavan, to complete the promise, comes as Shrirama. That's second story. Then third story. What third story? There was one demon named Jalandhara. Jalandhara Asura was there, but he was lucky that he had a wife who was a perfect wife, Pativrata Stri. And it is said that Bhagavan once, because he was a demon, he was Asura, Jalandhara was Asura, Bhagavan killed him with a trick. And that Jalandhara was reborn as Ravana. And it is also believed that this Patni, Jalandhara's wife, cursed Bhagavan that because you killed him wrongly, you also should be born again. So because of that curse, it is said that Bhagavan came as Shrirama. Then Shivji says there is one more reason, that Bhagavan Vishnu once was cursed by Naradji. Huh? But Naradji is Bhagavan's devotee. Narayana, Narayana, all the time he is chanting Bhagavan's name. So once Naradji cursed Vishnu Bhagavan, for which Vishnu Bhagavan had to come as Shrirama. When Parvati ji heard this, remember for Parvati ji, Naradji is Guru. And she said, Bhagavan, one second. Before you continue with your other stories, she asked very intelligent question. She says, Bole bihasi mahesa tabak gyani ma. She says, what mistake did Bhagavan Vishnu do for which Naradji had to curse him? She didn't ask why Naradji cursed. What did she wish? He only must have done. Otherwise, why will Naradji curse? He only must have done something. So, what mistake did he do for which Naradji had to curse him? Shivji said that we will see tomorrow. Not Shivji, I am telling that we will see that tomorrow. Okay, so we see the Narada Moha Prasanga. Narada Moha Prasanga is there where, very interesting story. The reason why Naradji cursed Vishnu Bhagavan. Veera Maruti, Gambhira Maruti.
Veera Maruti, Gambhira Maruti.
Veera Maruti, Ati Dhira Maruti.
Veera Maruti, Ati Dhira Maruti.
Geeta Maruti, Sangeeta Maruti.
Geeta Maruti, Sangeeta Maruti.
Duta Maruti, Rama Duta Maruti.
Duta Maruti, Rama Duta Maruti.
Bhakta Maruti, Parama Bhakta Maruti.
Bhakta Maruti, Parama Bhakta Maruti.
Veera Maruti, Gambhira Maruti.
Veera Maruti, Gambhira Maruti.
Gambhira Maruti.
Gambhira Maruti.
Gambhira Maruti.
Gambhira Maruti.
सियावर रामचंद्र की, पवन सुत हनुमान की,
जय।
उमापति महादेव की,
जय।
बोलो भाई सब संतन की,
जय।
श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की
जय।
ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।